Veganism is one of the fastest growing lifestyles on the planet, offering numerous personal and environmental benefits. However, there's plenty of controversy over the viability of a vegan diet. According to the Vegan Society, veganism is a way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. Essentially, the lifestyle entails eliminating any form of animal products. Opposed to a diet with animal products, living a vegan lifestyle can be more healthful and nutritious, be more environmentally friendly, and have many moral gains. Thus, while there are counter-arguments to vegan lifestyles, they fail to exceed the personal and global benefits of becoming vegan. The diet of a vegan lifestyle can be divided into sections for a better understanding of the nutrients' origins. According to the peer-reviewed article written by Julianne Heaver, a plant-based dietitian, the main groups are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and vitamins. It is possible to obtain carbohydrates through foods like whole wheat bread, pita, fruits, vegetables, and pasta. Many carbohydrates that non-vegans consume daily are vegan by nature and perfectly viable options for people to obtain carbohydrates. Similarly, protein is a highly contested nutrient in a vegan diet. While many people claim vegans cannot obtain a sufficient amount of protein, the reality is the opposite. Tofu is a common source of protein, offering 9 grams of protein for a 3-ounce serving, while containing merely 90 calories. Lentils have 12 grams per half cup. Seitan has 25 grams of protein for every 3.5 ounces of food. Furthermore, essential fats can be ingested from nuts and seeds, such as chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, and walnuts. Vitamins can be consumed through vegetables, fruits, and supplements. According to Dr. Bradley McGowan, a nutritional expert with a PhD from the University of Sydney, a vegan diet can meet the requirements of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. McEwen proceeds to say that vegan diets usually have lower levels of cholesterol and saturated fat, as suggested through cases of diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Type 2 diabetes is the least prevalent in vegans. Vegans also tend to have the lowest cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, as well as lower blood pressure. Vegan males had a 42% decrease in mortality from cardiovascular disease and a 55% reduced risk for heart disease. Some athletes further provide a common argument against a vegan diet, claiming it's not possible to grow muscle and achieve success under a vegan diet. However, Patrick Bolt, a research and vegan endurance runner, found that there's no significant difference in the health and performance between meat eating and vegan runners. Many famous athletes at the top of their competition have turned to veganism. Lewis Hamilton, 6-time Formula One world champion, became vegan in 2017. He won 2 world championships in that time. Formula One racing is intense and physically demanding, and it also requires mental vigor. Becoming vegan had no discernible impact on Hamilton's performance. The environmental impacts also contribute to the sustainability of a vegan diet. Research conducted by the Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy in combination with Grain, a nonprofit designed to aid small farmers, reports that the meat and dairy industries have passed Exxon, Shell, and BP as the largest climate producers. Grain also finds that there are 3 scopes of pollutants in a meat or dairy firm. Scope 1 is direct emissions from a company. This would include their plants, machines, energy used from coal and natural gas, and potentially emissions released by the animals they farm. Scope 2 is any emission that occurs away from the plant. This could be pollutants caused by energy production. Finally, Scope 3 is known as the product chain emissions. This includes, but is not limited to, livestock emissions, manure, farm machinery inputs, the productions of livestock and animal feed, and land inputs such as fertilizer and nitrogen. So one might assume that meat and dairy production pollutes at the factory level, but there are many trickling pollutants that severely damage the ecosystem. One source of emissions is especially notable: the production of livestock feed, due to how much energy, time, and fuel is wasted in creating feed for the animals. To put into perspective how much food is used for animal feed, the United States could provide food for 800 million people with the grain that livestock eat, and that was in 1997. In 2013, Emily Cassidy of the University of Minnesota found that the world could feed an additional 4 billion people by converting existing cropland used for animal agriculture into a human food supply. One condition perpetuating the problem is something known as subsidies, which is a government payment to an industry to aid its success and promote production of a certain good. The United States government gives $38 billion in subsidies to the meat and dairy industry each year, with less than 1% of that money being given to fruit and vegetable farming, making it directly harder to produce outside of the animal markets. One of the most obvious solutions is to switch to veganism. If enough people make a change, then subsidies can be reduced and reallocated to more sustainable plant farmers. Switching to a plant-based diet is an environmentally friendly path to reducing one's carbon footprint on the environment. Moreover, there are the personal benefits on a moral level. Once one starts to become cognizant of the ethical implications of eating meat and animal products, eating vegan can take a huge weight off their shoulders and foster a more stress-free lifestyle. As Shin Brewers of the Ghent University puts it, everyone and everything should get basic rights. Animals have rights just as humans do. Animals are conscious beings that feel pain and emotion and process their surroundings in an intellectual manner. It is a freeing feeling to be taking part in a lifestyle that does not involve the exploitation and abuse of animals. There is a tendency for people who eat animal products to mentally distance themselves from the pain being inflicted by their actions. But once one examines the situation, they will understand that animals are being abused and tortured for human gain. Factory farms are one of the guiltiest culprits of abuse, causing over 70 billion deaths every single year. In fact, over 600,000 animals have been killed in the time I've been speaking. The animals in these farms are forced to live in their own waste, confined to living spaces as big as 2 square meters if they're lucky. Egg-laying hens must live the entirety of their lives in a space no bigger than a piece of copier paper. Tainting the natural relationship between mother and offspring, confined pigs often crush and suffocate their young due to the claustrophobic environment. Similarly, a calf is stripped from its mother less than a day after birth, proving that the meat and dairy industries have minimal regard for the quality of life of these sentient animals. Their suffering is brought on by the demand of the market, the demand of the people. When people eat vegan diets, the demand is reduced, and so is their suffering. Veganism is rising in popularity. Like many others, I became vegan for the environmental and health benefits, as well as the lifting of the moral burden by which I was plagued. It's worth noting that I ate meat products for 18 years and animal products for another year after that. I'm not perfect, nobody is. Recognizing mistakes and doing one's best to rectify them is an important aspect of life. No matter how long someone has been consuming animal products, putting a stop to it will still have the same benefits.